In the previous video, we covered all the intervals of the major scale. Now in this video, we will be adding the intervals of the natural minor scale, namely the flat 3, flat 6, and flat 7. So up until this point, it has been relatively simple identifying intervals because you could, at least in principle, sing up a single scale, the major scale, and find the correct interval. Now that we are adding minor intervals, this becomes a bit harder. So we could tackle this in a number of different ways. First, we could conceivably learn to sing the natural minor scale. Now, I personally don't like doing this because I think it's difficult, and I always like to relate everything back to the major scale. Now, having said that, it is useful to at least be able to sing the first 3 notes of the minor scale, so up to the flat third and back, or to sing a minor arpeggio. Bum, 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 bum. And if you can, you really want to be sensitive to and hone in on that major equals happy and minor equals sad framework. Because hearing the quality of the interval, whether an interval sounds happy or sounds sad, will help you identify what it could be. And this is exactly how I identify the minor third and major third intervals. To me, the minor third sounds sad, the major third sounds happy, so I can pick up on those particular intervals relatively comfortably. Now, secondly, we could continue to use our major scale as a reference, sing up the major scale until we overshoot the note, and then flatten it. So for example, bum bum, bum bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. So I sang the interval, started singing the major scale, got up to the major third, realized I had overshot it and flattened it down a semitone to the minor third. You could do the exact same thing with a flat 6, for example. Bum bum, bum 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 bum, bum bum, bum bum. So there you go, I sang the interval, I sang the major scale up to the major 6th, realized I had overshot my note, flattened it by a semitone, sang it again, and there it is, your minor 6, flat 6 interval. Now third, as always, you could use melodies as mnemonic aids. So for example, Green Sleeves starts with a flat third interval. Bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, ba bum bum, bum bum. Yep, perfect, that fits, so that must be a flat third interval. And finally, you could make educated guesses based on the interval size and the level of dissonance in the interval. Now this is especially useful where that dissonance feels like it should resolve to a consonance. Now the most consonant notes in a scale are the root and the fifth, and this has to do with the overtone series, and just anecdotally speaking, songs tend to resolve to the root or to the fifth, which then itself resolves further to the root. And notes a semitone from either of these more consonant notes feel like they should resolve to the consonant note. Now we've already seen this with the major 7 interval, which feels like it should resolve up a semitone to the root. Bum, bum, bum. So I played the major 7th interval, I sung it, and it just has such a high level of dissonance that feels like it should go somewhere, and that somewhere is up a semitone to the root until you have an octave. So by hearing the large size of the interval, the large jump that we heard, and the dissonance of the interval, and then singing it and figuring out where it wants to resolve, in this case upper semitone to the root, it then becomes easier to determine that this is probably a major 7 interval, and then if you like you could double check that by singing the song melody that corresponds to a major 7th interval, which I think is Take On Me. Now I find the same thing happens to the flat 6 interval. To me it feels like it should resolve down a semitone to the 5th. Bum, bum, bum. So whenever I hear a minor 6 interval, my ear just naturally kind of hears that dissonance and it just feels like it should resolve down to a 5th. And again, I can then compare it to my song that starts with a minor 6 interval. And something similar happens with the minor 7 interval, at least to my ear. When I hear a minor 7 interval, I feel like it sounds like a dominant chord that wants to resolve down a semitone to the 3rd of the tonic chord. So to me, a minor 7th interval should resolve as follows. Right, so that was a minor 7th interval, in this case the C and the B flat, which suggests a C7 chord, resolving down to the F and the A, which suggests an F triad. And in so doing creates that little 5-1 perfect cadence. So whenever I hear a minor 7th interval, naturally my ear hears that as a dominant chord that wants to resolve down to the 3rd of that tonic chord. Bum, bum, bum. Now that one's a little trickier because we're resolving to the 3rd of the tonic chord, but with enough practice you should also start to hear that kind of resolution happening. And so really, when I listen to intervals, I use a number of these techniques in tandem. So first I listen to the size of the interval. Is it small, medium, or large? Then I listen to the dissonance of the interval. Does it feel like it's unsettled and that it wants to resolve somewhere? And if so, where? Up or down? Next, I listen to the quality of the interval. Does it sound happy or sad? And finally, based on those 3 things, I make an educated guess of what that interval could be, and then either test it against one of my songs or sing the major scale up to that note, or overshooting that note and flattening it to find a minor interval. So as always, practice singing these minor intervals from random notes first to get a feel for them. But with that little introduction, let's now do the same exercise as in previous videos. I'll play 10 intervals, ascending, descending, and then simultaneously, and show the answers at the end of each section. All intervals will be played twice. We'll start with ascending, and feel free to pause the video if you need more time to think. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. And now the solutions. Descending intervals. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. And now the solutions. Simultaneous intervals. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7. Number 8. Number 9. Number 10. And now the solutions.